Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam and we didn't have to watch anything for this episode, so I've been watching the world go by. And honestly, good for it. Options are good.
And this is our...
Get it? Because the world is going by.
Wait.
Like it's
I've
going...
been watching the world go by.
Like it's going away, saying goodbye?
No, like it's going bisexual.
I like that more.
So wait, what was the setup to that? Watching the world go by?
I said, we haven't watched anything, so I'm watching the world go by.
Right.
And honestly, good for it, because more options is always better.
Okay, great. Yes. Thank you for explaining the joke.
We got there. See, the nice thing about neurodivergent culture is if you explain the joke, we find it just as funny as we would have if we had understood it the first time.
Oh, yes.
Take that, neurotypicals.
And no one thinks you're being condescending if everyone goes, wait, what? Please explain that.
It's so nice. Oh, my God. Anyways, what are we doing here?
We're talking about all of Season 2. This is our Season 2 wrap-up episode. Woohoo!
Wow.
Yes, it is.
I can't believe
That's
we
wild.
finally got to the end of Season 2.
Yeah. Technically, we have 3 more seasons left, but like we've said before, that Season 4 and 5 are kind of like half seasons that kind of get lumped together a lot of the times in DVD video releases, but it's still technically a Season 4 and Season 5.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited to see where it goes. I think the structure of this is, do we have like a general discussion kind of thing and then questions? Or
Exactly.
Yeah, I am curious to hear from those of y'all who are rewatching, like, what parts of this season did you remember versus what parts of this season were like a surprise for you?
Well, I'm assuming Beth remembers most of it, since Beth has watched it a million times.
See, but even then, you can still find new things on a rewatch.
True.
Definitely. There are, well, if we want to start with a correction, the episode that Boober's Quiet Day, wherein we talked about, we were very skeptical when Muppet Wiki said that Boober has a crush on Tosh.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that if there were evidence for that, people would let us know, and boy, howdy did they. So Tony, aka Muppet Dude, one of the admins over at Muppet Wiki, let us know that the episode in which this is implied is A Tune for Two, which doesn't happen until season 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave it up to y'all. Do we want to, I can like show you this clip so we can talk about like, oh, actually I can see how they arrived at that conclusion, or do we just want to...
We'll get there.
Well, yeah.
We'll get there. Okay.
Naturally. We'll get there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if our fan is a admin of Muppet Wiki, like, they're definitely neurodivergent enough that they will still be here when we get there, and I'm very curious to see what they have to add to the discussion once we, chew the meat on the bones a little bit.
He added, and Adam, if you're wanting to get into a fight with Muppet Wiki, Grant was the one who added the crush thing back in 2006. Bye! And yeah, I want this noted in the season 2 wrap-up. I'm riled up now, and then posted a gif of Donald Duck just going bonkers and smashing.
So clearly, actually, Gobo has a romantic relationship with Grant in the show. And you can tell because of the pixels.
Okay.
I'm an expert at these things. Anyways.
But yes, thank you to Tony for providing that clip, and we will definitely talk about it when we get to that part in the series. But for now, yeah, we will just... I watched the clip and I was like, oh, right, I forgot about that part. See, that's the thing about watching a million times. I could say that, but there's always going to be parts that I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally forgot about this moment in a future episode and went, okay, I can see how... I can see how straight people would come to that conclusion. Yeah, absolutely.
I had a short story I wrote about a priest who's going to check up on another priest who's been assigned to a really gnarly town. And there's like, subtle things about that indicate that this priest has a crush on the other priest who, seems to be leaving the more performative aspects of the priesthood behind. And at the end, you find out that they are both very queer and they are both into each other. But it's like, I don't say it directly. And my favorite thing about having people test read that story is all of the queer people I had read that story were like, I really like the way you set up the sort of romance really carefully and really subtly. Mm-hmm. And all of the straight people were like, that felt like it came out of nowhere. You should make that a little clearer.
Yeah.
I did have a couple of things I wanted to say about the music on this season.
Please.
I feel like the music on this season was a lot more hit or miss, but I feel like the hit was a lot more hit. Like, I feel like the general quality of the music in season 1, like, if you just look at the average quality per episode, was a little bit higher. But I feel like the peaks on this episode peaked way higher.
That makes sense.
Because, like, this is season 2, you know, it takes a while. It's hard making new things when you've already been making things for a while.
Yes.
I have a lot of empathy for that. And, like, as much as I have complained that I'm a little bit frustrated with the, I'm gonna sit here and think and be a little bit sad and have a little bit of wonder. Like, that's a vibe. That's a vibe you want in the show because it's not the kind of song you see very often. I get it. I just, you know, I also know they're capable of a lot more.
Yeah.
Because we see it. And boy, howdy, when they hit that ball out of the park, they knock it out of the park. My metaphors are not great today. When they nail it, they really nail it.
I think it's also notable that the regular lyricist, Dennis Lee, was not the writer for many, many, many of these episodes in a row in season 2, which makes me think that he was unavailable for some reason. I don't know why. I forgot to ask if anyone knows.
He was in Russia fighting crime.
Ooh.
Makes sense.
That's just what I say whenever kids ask where their teacher is if I'm substitute teaching.
Maybe he's the one who brought Fraggle Rock to the Soviet Union and...
I would watch the heck out of a, like, heist Cold War thriller about somebody smuggling Fraggle Rock VHSs into Russia. I would watch that so hard.
I mean, they didn't need to. It aired officially.
Uncensored?
Yeah.
I think so. I think we talked about this, that it was the first Western show to be shown.
You definitely told us this on a previous episode, because that's when I learned it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You probably... It's entirely possible I've known this, and then my brain took it and threw it out the window. So thank you for the reminder. Any other thoughts? I also just wanted to add, like, it's really cool seeing the character development.
Yeah.
The only shows that I've seen that are willing to take their character development this slowly and this organically and then also show it are like Adventure Time and Steven Universe.
Yep.
And just getting to see that it's a treat. It really is.
I'll just say for myself, you know, being the one who has seen this show before, but it's been, I know in the intro I say it's been 10 years. It's closer to like 14 or 15 years at this point, just because it was 10 years when we started this project.
Right.
And this project, it took a while to get off the ground, and then we've been recording for a while. So it's been like a decade and a half. And so this season, the only 3 episodes I think I had a passing remembrance of were like Wembley's Egg for whatever reason, Manny's Land of Carpets, and then Uncle Matt Comes Home. Those 3, like, maybe not the episodes in full, but things about them. I was like, oh, I remember Matt comes back to the rock. I remember Wembley has an egg and it takes care of what comes out of the egg, you know, things like that. But then there's other like larger things. Like I knew we were going to get so much more of the Doozers this season.
Love that.
Because we really didn't get too much of them in the previous season. This was the season where Cotterpin was introduced, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I knew for certain we were going to see her this season, but I probably would have put money on her making her first appearance. I knew we'd get more Gorgs. We actually didn't get that much Marjorie, I'm realizing, looking through this season's list. We had new Trash Heap. The Trash Heap doesn't live here anymore, but that's like kind of, maybe she popped in for another episode or 2, but that was kind of, that's interesting just because I feel like she had such a presence in season 1 and they kind of pivoted away from her a little bit.
I mean, if you want to make sure you're exploring the Doozers and the Gorgs more, you do need to pull a little bit away.
True.
And, like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do miss her. She's great. I hope we see more of her in season 3.
Oh, I'm certain that we will. But yeah. And then, you know, the season as a whole, I loved, like we've talked so much about the progression with the cinematography, how they've taken so many more swings with like just how they've staged shots and like done these grander scale things, which has been so cool to see. And yeah, I agree with like the character development, getting to see recently, you know, Red and Moki are living together and the journeys that all the characters have taken. We got to see Sidebottom again, which made me super happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glancing ahead to what's in store for season 3, and there's some real good ones.
I will say without spoilers, I looked at the first episode of season 3. I do remember that episode. That is maybe one of the top ones I remember for reasons we'll get to in the not too distant future.
Yep. That is one that I rewatch every single year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
We've got some intense ones coming up.
Good.
There's an episode with like a bully character.
Ooh.
There's a shape-shifting character on the horizon that I'm very excited for us to meet.
Animorph. Animorph. Animorph.
There's towards the end of the season, we get the episode where Philo and Gunge, the difference between them becomes important.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
I
love
don't
them.
remember that one. All right.
Yeah. And there's an episode with a character who's super emotionally manipulative.
Ooh. I'm always grateful when stories like that exist. Like, Tangled was fine. Tangled, it's not my favorite of the new Disney movies. I enjoyed it, but it didn't wow me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so glad it exists.
Yeah.
Because somebody can watch that incredibly manipulative villain of a parent and then see something like that in their own life and go, oh, maybe that's not good, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe that's bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you said we had corrections?
That was the major correction, was the thing about Tosh.
So we had correction.
Right. There was an additional information that we were wondering about. There was an international version where the UK version mentioned that the captain was reminiscing about when Sprocket was a puppy, and we were like, oh, we want to see that. And Tony said, Baby Sprocket. Baby Sprocket doesn't exist as a physical puppet, but does appear in Sprocket's Christmas Tale. And so in one of the picture books, there's a little picture of Baby Sprocket.
Aw, is it an illustration or an actual photo?
It's an illustration.
Okay.
You want me to send it to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Throw it in the group chat.
I want to see Baby Sprocket.
Baby Sprocket doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm sorry.
Baby Sprocket doo-doo.
There's Baby Sprocket in the group chat.
Oh, he's so small.
He's so small.
Oh.
But he still looks like a tiny little old man.
Yes.
He does look like a tiny little old man. I love his little eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
His giant paws, that's really apt. And puppies have huge paws sometimes. And they're very clumsy when they walk.
Yes. Oh, also from Tony. Here's a neat little fact about this episode. The terms Flooper and Rev were both used in a Sesame Street segment a couple of years later. Here's a soundbite. I'm going to copy this and also send it to the group chat.
Let's take a listen.
Okay. That's definitely Richard talking.
Wow, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wasn't Richard doing the character that was kind of the leader of all of the Rev doozers?
I believe so. Let me double check.
I think it was, and that sounded like Richard, so...
It sounded like Richard. Richard is the one they call in when they need a one-off character who's going to cause some chaos.
I feel like he was like slightly younger than some of the other puppeteers, so he was... I guess not by the time of Fraggle Rock. I was going to say he's the young, cool dude, but I guess that was probably actually Steve. Anyway.
Yeah. Richard Hunt as Turbo Doozer. Yep.
Richard was Rev.
So those are all of the corrections and or additions.
Cool. Do we want to hop to audience questions?
Yeah. So, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. SGTZTM on the Tough Pigs Discord.
Sergeant Zetum.
There you go. Asks, were there any guests that worked in the OG show or Back to the Rock that you weren't able to get this season or season 1? All of them. Yeah, so far we've been lucky enough to speak with Dan Garza, and so far that's the only person who's actually worked on either one of the shows that we've been able to have as a guest, but we would absolutely love to get more.
I'm flattered that you think we have that kind of clout.
Right.
We're just like nerds.
Yeah, like as a Tough Pigs newbie, I have not earned the ability to sit and chat with Dave Coles and Karen Prell yet. Maybe someday.
Maybe for like season 5.
Yeah, like, build up a rapport with the people that we do know. And I think in prep for season 3, I want to sit down with Joe and be like, okay, who who have you talked to from the Back to the Rock podcast who seems like they'd be, happy to come and chat with us and not give too many Back to the Rock spoilers, but just kind of talk about why the original is awesome?
That would be cool.
Look, I can't speak to her schedule. I would be so not surprised if Karen Prell was excited to do this show. She loves Fraggle Rock and loves talking about it,
True story.
So
I would love to talk to Karen Prell. I just want to ask her, how do you have a puppet do an impression of a puppet? And how do you do it so good?
It would be really cool to get, even like John Tartaglia, who is like the reason
would also be a dream.
Fraggle Rock is now like back in everyone's conscious minds because of the new show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I love Dave Goles I love Dave Goles to the moon and back, but also again, busy man, busy performer.
Yes, that's the other trick is that even just getting the three of us to set aside, an hour, maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks to sit down and talk to each other is so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not professional podcasters.
Yeah. Getting any fourth person in the mix is darn near impossible. We were supposed to have a guest today and who couldn't do it. Totally understandable. And when we do manage to get a guest, it is usually a Tough Pigs person for that reason, just because it's much easier to connect with our fellow Tough Pigs and
easier to coordinate.
If someone falls out at the last minute, I can scramble into the Discord and be like, hey, is anyone free to take this guest slot at this hyper-specific time, which is the only time that the three of us could meet. So yeah, scheduling is very much a challenge.
Yep. Alrighty, next question.
Tristan on the Tough Pigs Discord asks, my question is about if you guys plan on discussing Back to the Rock after you're done with the original show. I know Joe has already discussed the episodes, but I was just wondering because I know Adam hasn't seen it yet. Great question.
I mean, I'm down.
Probably.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that, like, I love this idea in theory. I also have absolutely no idea what... I was going to say what our schedules are going to be like, what the world is going to be like in a couple more years, and if we'll be able to continue having episodes with this same, like, do we just start over? Like, okay, we're doing every single episode of Back to the Rock. Do we do a bonus episode, like one for each season? Like, it's unclear yet, but we're all...
We need to watch all of the odd episodes in backwards order and then all the even episodes in forwards order.
Okay, perfect. You unlock the secret code. I'll just make the schedule.
Sweet. I had a friend whose friend was watching Riverdale like that. They decided they were going to watch all the odd episodes in backwards order and then all the even episodes in forwards order. And apparently it added to their experience significantly.
I'm sure it wouldn't take away from how that show works, because everything I know about Riverdale is it goes off the rails.
It goes off the rails, and then it goes off the rails that it was on when it was off those rails.
Yeah.
And then it actively takes a pickaxe and a shovel and just undoes the existence of rails.
I watched a YouTube video that just went over all of the major plot points of the later seasons, and I said, how? Why? What? All of the questions.
So many questions. Speaking of questions.
So I think that might be the last question that we got at the Discord. I got a few emails from folks.
Wait, we have an email?
I do.
Okay.
I have a Tough Pigs email.
I've been making jokes about the email that I didn't think we had.
Oh. Yes. If you want to reach out, you can email beth@toughpigs.com. That's where I told folks to send their...
We actually have an email to send questions, comments, and fan art. I should not be trusted with this responsibility or this much power.
All right, this email is from Kate. Dear Beth, Julia, and Adam, it's so strange to be writing to you all. I'm not usually a fan of podcasts. It's not really my thing because I find it boring most of the time to listen to people go off on tangents about things I don't care about. I don't typically feel like a part of the conversation, so why bother? Now, I'm late to join this bandwagon because I never thought there would be a Fraggle Rock podcast, let alone one so charming. Also, I am a mother of a small child who demands a lot of attention. Only recently have I started carving out time for things that have nothing to do with that part of my life to create some balance and much-needed self-care. I'm so relieved I found Fraggle Talk. With this podcast, I love every tangent you all go off on. I feel like I'm understood in a way I've never been understood before just by listening to you all talk in depth about this thing I love so much. Fraggle Rock was a huge imprint on my soul at a young age, and it's always stayed with me. Finding other people that get this is so rare. I try to share it with people from time to time, and it's sweet of them to try. But this podcast is a bit like finding the friends I wish I'd had growing up. Watching the show taught me how to be a good friend, how to communicate that I cared, and I accepted people as they were, how to feel things and not be scared of that. Fraggle Rock's message of universal peace is still one I value deeply, and most people don't get it. Somehow you all do. It's a bit like having a treasure that no one could see before, and now I can listen to you all not only see that treasure, but appreciate it in a way no one else in my life appreciates it. I know you haven't gotten to this part yet, and I don't want to spoil it for Adam, but I feel Marjorie's words in the finale pretty heavily experiencing this. You all do a great job on this podcast. I love how organized and respectful of each other you all are. The fact that you pass the baton back and forth on who is talking about which part of the episode is wonderful. Your in-depth breakdowns of the topic at hand and the relationship dynamics are insightful and poignant. Sometimes I have to go back and listen to things over because there's so much knowledge dropped in 30 seconds, and I need to make space to let it sink in. Podcasts are such a silly thing because it's intimate to listen to friends talk together about something they are passionate about. So I feel a bit weird admitting how much of a fan I am, like I'm the one at the coffee shop eavesdropping on your bi-weekly hangouts. If there's ever a Fraggle Talk meetup /gathering/potluck, please let me know. I'll do what I can to be there. This pod has meant a lot to me. It's been healing to listen for multiple reasons. Mainly that this time in the world is so scary. People in power who are intensely against everything I believe in and are working intentionally to exclude and be disrespectful of others because they are different from them. This podcast feels like a healing circle. The world definitely needs to be a bit more fragglier these days. Thanks for reminding us all the little ways that we can. Please keep doing this. It's important and it's lovely. So if I never meet you all, just know that I'm forever grateful that you did this thing. Sincerely, Kate.
Oh my God, I'm crying so much right now, which might also speak to the week that I've had, but that's so incredibly kind. Oh my gosh.
No, I absolutely cried the first time I read this one. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kate. Oh,
thank you, Kate.
That's so lovely.
I'm a little bit speechless, actually.
Right?
I got to think about the right words.
Yeah.
One of the things that I feel like the three of us all, just as podcast hosts and just as people who know each other, have experienced to the point where it's almost just like an unsaid just understanding of shared existence is the understanding of like being alone in a room full of people. That's a really, really universal experience, especially in the nerd community and the neurodivergent community.
mm-hmm.
And the flip side of that is when you find people who like get it.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. And Kate, I'm really glad that the conversations that we record get to offer that for you. That's really cool. Drink water.
All right. Email number 2 is from John. Hey, Beth and the rest of the Fraggle Talk crew. I don't want to ramble too much here, but I need to thank all 3 of you and the community of Fraggle fans who have made me feel comfortable with being an adult Fraggle Rock fan. I fell in love with the show as a kid, and for some odd reason, on the first day of summer break, I would get home and start watching the entirety of Fraggle Rock from top to bottom. Shout out to my mom for buying me the complete series on DVD when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, someone was 7 years old when DVDs came out. We're old.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Sorry. I would keep my love for the show a secret, but this podcast gave me the courage to explore and celebrate my love for Fraggle Rock and all things Henson related, really. The conversations you all have and the laughs you share are so genuine that I feel as if I am sitting there taking part in the conversation along with y'all. I've seen the show hundreds of times, but Fraggle Talk has made me see the show in a whole new way. So thank you all. All right, real quick Season 3 questions. Thank you for your time and congrats on having an amazing podcast. Question 1. If you had to have one Fraggle Rock character as a roommate, who would it be and why?
Boober.
Wembley.
Why would you choose Wembley?
Because he seems chill and he's like down to do stuff, but he also like if you're like, hey, I kind of need some space, he'll be like, okay. I feel like of all the 5 Fraggles, he respects boundaries the best.
Mm.
And that, like, I would have maybe more fun with some of the other ones, but I would feel the safest with Wembley.
Yeah.
And that's what you need if you're picking a roommate and a home. And also just like, You could just he seems like he'd be super down if you're just like, hey, I want to have a night in. You want to watch something? He'd be like, yeah, sure. Hey, what if we did this? You'd be like, yeah, you're right. We should get a pizza while we watch this. We could make a pizza while we watch. And then like, I don't know. I feel like I would get along personally with Wembley really well.
Yeah.
Boober seems like someone who is great, like to spend time with, but also really needs his time by himself, which is very much how I am. I love being in space and community with friends, roommates, my partner, but I also really need time by myself as well. And I feel like he would respect that. Also, he seems like he would be very clean to live with. He likes cooking. He likes doing laundry. I like both of those things as well. I feel like we would have a very like nice, tidy space, which I've also learned after living with so many people is actually important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm also maybe we would just spiral into an anxious, depressive episode together, but that's how my mind works too. And it can be very, I don't know, it can be nice to have someone whose brain works similar to yours at times.
Oh, I love that.
Beth?
I was going to say, yeah, either Wembley or Boober, but you know what? I'm actually going to go with Cotterpin.
Ooh.
Cotterpin's not a Fraggle. I call foul.
It didn't say a Fraggle. It said a character.
Oh.
If you had to have one Fraggle Rock character.
Oh, well, Sprocket also.
Sprocket.
Marjorie.
In your backyard or in your house?
Yeah, in the backyard, definitely.
Okay.
Just go and visit.
But like, go out, dump the compost bins, shoot the
have a chat,
talk,
get some advice,
sing with some hype rats, get some wisdom. Absolutely. That might be the right answer.
Go out in the backyard for a beer, pour a little bit into a little thimble for Philo and Gun, just sit there, watch the sun go down.
Yeah.
Why Cotterpin?
Cotterpin because she and I have a lot in common, and I feel like she wouldn't take up a lot of space.
Does make it easy.
Her entire world could fit in my living room. And, I feel like there's accessibility crossover things there. Like, she could get into small spaces to be like, oh my God, can you, get that thing for me that, fell between the fridge and the counter? And I could, lift her up to ridiculously high places very easily.
Ooh, also having a doozer for electrical wiring issues.
Yeah, very handy roommate.
Oh yeah.
And oh my God, you could just be like, hey, you can stay here and your food is covered if you take care of these chores because you don't eat much at all.
Mm-hmm. All great choices. And now I'm sad that I don't live with any of these people. Okay. Question number 2. If you had to live as a Fraggle, Doozer, or Gorg, which would you pick and why? Fraggle. More
time to jam.
Yeah, the fictional creatures I always feel like I wish I was are hobbits, and Fraggles are very hobbit-esque. They take it easy, they play a lot of music, they like food.
Indeed.
I see, but I feel like Fraggles are hobbits, except they're willing to be weird and manic sometimes.
Yeah, they're a lot more active. They want to.
They're neurodivergent hobbits.
Yes,
and I love that.
They want to go explore the caves. They run around in the Gorg's garden. They're more up for adventure and danger, but they're also, I feel, of the three, they're chill. They're all about community and coming together and sharing and everything.
Plus, I mean, I would love a 30-minute work week. That sounds great.
The dream.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Beth, you think I'm going to let the question asker avoid answering the questions?
No, I'm fully agreeing with you guys. Yes, Fraggle all the way. I have a whole Pinterest board dedicated to things I would buy and or decorate my house with if I wanted to turn it into a Fraggle cave.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That would be wild if one of us said Gorg.
I want to be tall.
or Doozer.
I'm tall, but I could be taller.
Their castle, I kind of do want to live in, especially the version in Back to the Rock. But yeah, I'm not sure I would want to deal with Pa and Ma. I would team up with Junior if I was able to, and be like, hey, you want to start a union of 2?
Yes. Junior, let's get you out. Let's go see the world. Let's leave Ma and Pa to fend for themselves.
Yep.
And then we can come back here when they've left this place in shambles, and then we can negotiate you some better treatment. All right, next question. All
right, question 3. What is your best theory about the current residents of the Gorgs? Some form of exile? Are they the only ones? How far does the outside world of theirs go? Things like that.
So there's this bit in the second Name of the Wind book where they're hunting bandits in a really big forest, and the tracker that they've got with them says, "Oh, we're off the map." And the main character's like, "No, we're not. Like, I can point to where we are on the map." Yeah. And he says, "Yeah, we're not off the sides of the map, but we are off in the middle. You know, you look at a big map, it's just a dot that says forest. You look at this map, when you zoom in, it's just a, green shape, but like, no one's been in here. No one knows what this place is." And I think that Doc lives nearby some, very big forest that's very well protected, federally or whatever, that just has some areas that just nobody goes to.
And that if he happened to wander in there, he might be able to get to where the Gorgs are.
Exactly.
Okay.
Interesting.
Nice.
I think I just assumed that, I don't know if it's the Fraggle hole, is a portal that leads in, and then so I don't know if the Gorgs are even on the same plane as Doc. It's all so not answered and up in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume there are more Gorgs in the world, again, because Pa had to find and marry Ma, and they talk about finding Junior someone to marry in the future. But yeah, we haven't gotten any allusions. They haven't mentioned being exiled or anything, right?
Nope.
They just haven't seen anyone in hundreds of years.
Exactly.
I mean, so here's the thing. They wouldn't say it that way.
Right.
True.
That's not how they would tell their own story. My theory is that the Gorgs themselves were very sort of just a fascist-style race, and that coexisting was terrible for them, and that as a species they just kind of warred themselves out, and so there's not a lot of them left, and the ones that are left don't, they're very spread out, and they've, how a bunch of people who would rather have the story in their brain all kind of band together so they can validate each other's brain stories. I'm thinking of estranged parent groups and stuff like that, where everyone's like, "Oh, you're right, the world is terrible and you're perfect." I think it's like that, where they've all just kind of bonded together to validate, yeah, we are in charge of the world and we're amazing and perfect.
Yeah.
And as long as we don't actually go out into the world, we can't prove that wrong. So we're just going to stay here and pretend like we own everything.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
That does make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have my personal headcanons that I'm not going to get too into.
I mean, I have a personal headcanon, but it's hell on my neck, and it's one shot and you have to reload it. It's not a very good self-defense weapon.
Ba-da-bum.
Whee! Next question.
Let's see. John signs up with one more quick question: where my ALF and or 1990s Canadian TV show Goosebumps stands at. Take care, y'all. Oh, I never saw ALF. It probably would have scared me if I found out that he eats cats.
Yeah.
I would have been like, no, that guy is scary. I want nothing to do with him.
Agree.
Did they make a TV show of Goosebumps?
Briefly. I
Because
remember.
I love those books.
I don't know if it's the same one that was on Nickelodeon for whatever timeline that was, but there was definitely a Goosebumps TV show.
Again, I adored the books. The books were very good. Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, they weren't good, but they were fun.
I remember nothing about the TV show other than them doing the weird, scary green mask episode.
Oh, the one where you can't take it off?
Yeah. Although I may be confusing that with Are You Afraid of the Dark?
No,
because I refuse to watch that too.
The green mask, I think, is from Goosebumps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't read or watch Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark because that stuff scared me as a kid.
Yep.
So I really missed out on that whole cultural touchstone.
I adore the Goosebumps books. In hindsight, they are, not what anyone would call high literature, but they were really fun. I especially loved the Choose Your Own Adventure ones. And all of the shows of it that I watched, I remember as a kid being like, this is either cheesy enough that I'm not really scared or way too scary and I'm going to have a nightmare about this, but that was awesome.
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder if the series is available to watch anywhere. That would be a trip one night to just watch the 1990s TV show of Goosebumps. Oh, I'm going to have to do that someday.
We have an email. Tell us if that's what you want. It's Beth at Beth. Beth.
Exactly. Yep.
Hey, you know what? That might not be correct, but I did my best.
Hey. Okay. This last email, this is from Eloise. Hi, Fraggle Talk. My name is Eloise, and I'm 7. I listen to Fraggle Talk every day. I'm a huge fan, and I would like to hear your favorite characters from this season, except for the Fraggle 5. Mine has always been Sidebottom. He's just got that whimsical feeling that makes me want to watch the episode, but yes, he can also be a little manipulative. I really hope that Sidebottom will show up in Season 3 of Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock. It'd be a really great classic callback to see him appear. I'm really looking forward to listening to your interpretations of the Grapes of Generosity in Season 3. Your podcast brings me joy. I hope you all have a great time finishing off this season for the wrap-up. From Eloise. P.S. These are some of my favorite drawings that I drew, and me as Red Fraggle for the Fraggle Rock Live show. Oh my gosh. Eloise, thank you so much.
Eloise, thank you so much. I love this drawing. That's got to be Junior holding the doozers, right?
Yeah.
I love the scale of this. I love that you can see that they're just tiny, like the size of his fingers, and I love the way you made Junior so big. That's awesome.
So good. I love the detail work on the one you drew of the architect and Cotterpin, all the little detail on their outfits and their tool belts.
Yeah, that rules.
She even drew like the trees on Wembley's t-shirt.
Yes.
It's so good.
Did she really? Wait, hold on. I gotta look at this again.
In the color one of the Fraggle 5, that one's really detailed.
Oh my gosh, she did. Yo, Eloise, this rules.
It's so good.
Favorite character aside from the Fraggle 5? I love Cotterpin.
Yeah.
I love Cotterpin to pieces. I love that she speaks her mind. I love that she's always really willing to like advocate for herself. Like the episode where she and Red start hanging out and she's just like, I can't do that. Can we do a thing that I can do? Because that I literally physically cannot do that thing.
Yeah.
And like maybe she leans a little bit too much into that sometimes when, you know, she's like, oh, I'll tell you this, but what'll you give me? But I think that makes her a more interesting character. And I really appreciate that we get to see her both as somebody who represents doozer culture and also somebody who represents like somebody who doesn't feel like they fit in doozer culture.
Yeah.
And then gets to find a way that she does fit in.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me.
You know, this season I feel like I came to appreciate the Doc and Sprocket segment so much. We really spent a lot of time dunking season 1 on Doc, and there were still moments in season 2 where we were like, Doc, what are you doing, buddy? But I don't know, even seeing like the growth in their relationship and their characters has been like an absolute delight. And there's been so many funny moments between them as of late. So yeah, like surprisingly, I really always like getting to check in with those two as well.
Yeah, it has been nice seeing the conflict start being them teaming up versus a problem versus the problem being one of them versus the other.
Right.
And there's still a little bit of that, but it feels more grounded, like something that you would find in like a normal relationship as opposed to just like, oh, I'm distracted, so I didn't feed my dog.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Beth, how about you?
Oh, gosh. I mean, yes to both of those. You know, also, just shout out to Marjorie and the boys.
Yeah.
Junior is really starting to come into his own as a, you know, he's not just a Gorg who's perpetuating this messed up system. He's also curious enough that empathy is not beyond him. Like in that, I know Milky's Funeral was season 1, but that's when we kind of started to see like, oh, right, this is a guy who, you know, doesn't understand yet how his actions can affect the world. And like, oh, crud, you mean I accidentally killed this tiny living thing? Whoops, that makes me feel awful.
Yeah, he's capable of remorse in a way that Ma and Pa don't really seem to be.
Yeah.
Yes. And then in Junior Sells the Farm, we start to see him growing up a little bit in terms of, you know, taking on like more responsibility and not just, you know, making a mistake, but then finding a really clever way to undo that mistake and get the better of this evil Wonder McMooch. I hope let's see, what has Junior got going on in season 3?
Also, just shout out to Wonder McMooch. Like,
Yeah.
I love a good villain. and he's a weird, mean frog who's got super speed.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't see that kind of villain anymore, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
He's somebody that you love to hate.
Definitely. So yeah, it looks like Junior's got some important episodes in 4 and 5. I don't know if we're going to get a ton of him in season 3, but I know one of my favorite Cantus episodes is coming up.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
so excited for that.
How did I forget about Cantus? Cantus is also
Yeah,
great.
Right?
Like
So many good ones.
Cantus, Convincing John, these characters who aren't like regulars but appear usually like once a season, side bottom, are always like, it's always exciting when they come back.
Also, just like Eloise, props for picking Sidebottom. That is an excellent choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The depth that he gives to Boober's character is a really, really good one.
Agree.
It's really good.
And I like that this is a show that like talks about how there are different parts of ourselves, and sometimes the different parts of ourselves are in conflict.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often, and it's something that there's like a whole branch of therapy dedicated to understanding.
And that those different parts of ourselves are not inherently bad.
Yeah, they're just different and have different needs.
Exactly.
Anyways, Eloise, thank you so much for listening and for writing in. It was really meaningful for all of us to receive your letter.
Yeah.
Don't forget to drink water.
Oh, gosh, thank you so much, everybody. I still have some bookmarked quotes in the tome, just little tidbits
The
tome.
that I didn't want us to forget about.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Okay, here's something fascinating about the Doozers. Talking about Michael Frith's sketches and ideas about the Doozers. Another of Frith's early ideas stipulated that Doozers who supervised crews and projects will be called bulldoozers and would wear yellow helmets, while the helmets of the Doozers under their direction would be orange or red, indicating a hierarchy within their world. During production, the rules broke down and the crew and the props department ended up using a variety of bright colors for the helmets, although the bulldozers' headgear bore a medallion that identified their rank. In addition to helmets, work gloves, and boots, each doozer wears a well-equipped tool belt. While he was developing the characters, Frith exhaustively listed every tool that could possibly be in the doozers' belts and gave a copy to Jerry Jewell. He looked at it and said, "You were really drunk when you did this, weren't you?" Frith says with a laugh. Actually, somebody had given me a book called Everything Sold in Hardware Stores, which I found very handy, especially when I was coming up with names for new doozers. So yeah, I remembered when some character used the term bulldozer, and we were wondering, is that someone's name or is that their title? And now we know.
I'm glad they didn't stick with that, though. That has some unfortunate connotations. But I do like the pun, bulldozer, bulldozer.
Yes.
It's got to be something in there about a dozen dozing doozers.
This is how Jerry Parks, the actor who plays Doc, how he got the job.
Oh.
Ooh, yes, please. They saw him on Boondock Saints, and they were like, this guy's so good.
He says, "I was sitting and talking to Jim Henson when a dog came up and started breathing in my ear. Parks didn't realize it was the Sprocket puppet rather than the actual canine. I said something like, 'Get out of here,' and several weeks later, I got the part."
Wow.
Just from reacting to Sprocket like he's a real dog.
It's telling a dog to go away. All right.
So, yeah, these are leftover, like, they should have been in season 1 notes, but oh well, it's never too late. Let's see.
Very neurodivergent.
Oh, here's a note that apparently the doozer constructions were partly inspired by the Chicago O'Hare Airport. This is again from Michael Frith. "I was struck by the geometry of its architecture, all those triangles joining together to create this soaring, airy structure. So those brick-like lumps became gleaming, futuristic shards." I love that. I have not been to the Chicago O'Hare Airport, but my brother lives there, so maybe I should just go take a visit one of these days.
I have a friend in Chicago that I would really like to be able to visit, so maybe I will do that as just a research.
If you get there before I do, please take a bite of the Chicago O'Hare Airport.
I'll take a bite of it. Might hurt my teeth. Does the airport include the people working there, or do I need to take a bite of the actual building?
I think the actual building.
Okay, I'll do my best. "Podcaster arrested by TSA. I just needed a bite," he says.
This is about the remote control gaggles. You know, those groups of like 3 or more Fraggles.
Yep.
It says, "While gaggles were a clever solution to the problem of populating the rock, their mechanics were often compromised by the shortwave radio used in the fire station next door.
Okay.
When there was a call into the firehouse on an emergency, it would come in on their shortwave, says Michael K. Frith. And the shortwave would activate all the gaggles. They'd all be there on the set singing doody doody doo, and then they'd all suddenly start going grrr, grrr.
Oh no.
Are there any videos of this? I want to see this so bad.
Not that I'm aware of.
That sounds like the turning point in a horror movie.
See, that just reminds me of that Patton Oswalt bit where he talks about playing the Alvin and the Chipmunks record, but at like half speed, and it sounds like a mediocre barbershop quartet getting screamed at by a demon.
Have I told my Tickle Me Elmo story on the podcast?
I don't
if
think
you did,
so.
I don't remember it. You should definitely tell it.
So, Tickle Me Elmo was a sensation when I was, I want to say 11?
Mm-hmm.
And my stepmom got one for me, like, bless her heart, but also I was 11. At the time, I had no interest in Elmo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like, oh, that's for babies. That's for preschool. Like, obviously, I don't believe this anymore. Elmo rules.
Yeah.
But at the time, I had no interest in it, so it just kind of sat in the garage, unused. And I remember one day, who knows how long after I received this thing, I was in the garage digging around looking for something, and I found the Tickle Me Elmo, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it still works. And I squeezed it, and nothing happened. I figured, oh, the batteries ran out, because it's supposed to not only say, like, ha ha ha, that tickles, but also, like, shaking, like he's shaking with laughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kept looking around the garage for whatever it was, and on my way out, I hear,
Oh my god.
Tickles.
Terrifying.
Oh my god, he turned into an ant.
Or some kind of demon.
Yeah.
It took a while for me to figure out what was happening. I was
That
just
does
hearing
sound
this-
like the kind of thing that would lead to immediate stress.
Yes. It was the kind of thing that, like, great story in hindsight, at the moment, utterly terrified.
Yeah.
And then this last one about the music, you remember that Doozer song when they go to take the oath to take their helmets? Yes, we can, yes, we can, yes, we really, really can.
Yep.
I consider it a mark of success if a listener becomes infected with an earworm, says Phil Balsam. Many of the people in the show came down with this disorder while recording it, including myself. But I think the Henson Company had health insurance for that.
That's good.
All right, that's all the tome notes I got for
The
season
tome.
1 and 2.
Tome.
Tome.
Do you have the username for whoever posted the Red and Milky in the morning?
Yes, thank
Because I
you.
want to give them a shout out because that ruled.
Yes, this is from Will, aka Toon Lover, on the Tough Pigs Discord. Will Carroll does some amazing Muppet art, just in general, but because of us goofing on this Red and Milky in the morning idea, he went ahead and drew that image like they're wearing the same outfits.
Mm-hmm. No, the attention to detail is amazing.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This rules.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic thing.
Yeah, just the fact that people would make not just Muppet fan art, but niche Muppet fan art for a joke that we made on our podcast is so delightful.
It's so good.
Makes me so happy. Yeah, any other thoughts about season 2 or what we're going to do going forward?
I'm psyched to keep doing this.
Yeah.
It's wild that we've been doing this for like years at this point.
Right?
That's really cool. And I'm excited to keep doing it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I'm so impressed. Honestly, I'm like, every time I stop and think about, oh, right, I'm doing the thing. I'm making a thing happen.
Turns out if you just do a little bit at a time and you just keep going, you make a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Weird how that turns out.
I think it was Stephen King who said if you write a page a day at the end of the year, you have a 365-page novel.
Exactly.
Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah. So on the listeners' end, we're going to disappear for a few weeks. I'm not sure exactly when season 3 is going to premiere, but we're going to take off enough time to record at least a good chunk of episodes for season 3 before starting to release them.
Yeah, we kind of want to make sure that when you get it, it's all in one fell swoop. Like consistent recording schedule so we don't have breaks mid-season.
Yeah.
Because, life happens.
Life happens.
And there's been a lot of life happening.
Lot of life happening.
Like 5 or 6 life.
All right, I think that is going to do it for this season 2 wrap up. If you want to get in touch, you can email me at beth@toughpigs.com. And I'm on the various social media at Beth Anna Cook. That's Anna with 2 N's. And occasionally writing stuff for Tough Pigs.
And as always, you can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up on social media, juliagaskill.com for some poetry, and then also occasionally writing for Tough Pigs.
And if you want to find me, why?
You did that one.
Z.
Wow.
That one took me a second.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk. Brown.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk. Let me double check before I...
Dubstep remix. That's what my loading music sounds like if you're on the phone with me.
A jam.